a virtual student here at iUniversity Prep, one of the first things you're going to need is somewhere to keep yourself organized. Just like in a traditional school setting, you might need notebooks and binders and folders and things like that. You're going to need something very similar to keep all of your documents organized. And while you have things on your personal computer at home, such as folders and all, you really need a place like that online that you can use to share things with your teachers and keep everything organized. And so here at iUniversity Prep, we use two things for that. We use what is called Google Drive, and we use what is called a Google Site. In this video, we're going to go ahead and start doing the first things we need to set up our Google Drive. And that Google Drive is basically just a location to store documents out in the cloud, as they say. And so the first thing you're going to need to set that up is going to be your GCISD Google email account login that was given to you by the school office. And so they sent that to you back at the start of the year, and they sent it to you in the same email that they sent your Connexus and your Buzz logins. And so that login information will have something and then at gcisdstudents.net, and then it will have a password to go along with it. So go ahead and make sure you have that so that we can get logged in. Once you have that information, we're going to open up an internet browser, and we're going to go to drive.google.com. When we hit enter, it's going to pop up, and we're going to log in with that GCISD Google email account login information. Now, once we get logged in, the very first thing we want to do is go ahead and bookmark our Google Drive. We want to do that first of all so that we can make sure that we can get back to it at any time we need to. Once you have logged in, it's going to be blank. You're not going to have anything in that Google Drive yet. And in this Google Drive, this is a location to store files, just like you would have folders on your computer with different documents on it. It's going to be the same thing here. And so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a folder. And to create that folder, we're going to go to the orange New button in the top left corner. We're going to click that New button, and we're going to select Folder. Then it's going to pop up and want us to name that folder. We're going to name this folder 2015-2016. We're going to do that because we hope you love your experience here at iUniversity Prep, and hopefully you have multiple years worth of documents. And this will help you keep those organized by years. Now, once you have that 2015-2016 document, we're going to double click on it. Just like you would a folder on your computer, we're going to double click, and then we see it is blank inside that folder. Well, now that we're inside that folder, we need to make some additional folders for the year, and we're going to set those folders up by your classes. And so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to make another folder. And so I'm going to click that orange New button again. I'm going to select Folder. And the first class, we're going to pretend you are in U.S. History. Everyone has slightly different classes, so you might have Texas History or Government, World History, but we're going to create a folder for your Social Studies class. And then now you see that folder is there under your 2015 and 16 folder. You can see that 2015-2016 folder right up at the top. And so now we're creating folders in it. We're going to go through for each one of your classes. We're going to click that New button and then Folder. So then we'll do Math next. Now we're going to do English. And we're going to go through for each one of your classes. We'll create one for foreign language. And we're going to create one for electives. Everyone's going to have a different number of electives. Some might have just one, some might have 2 or 3. And then finally, we're going to create one last folder that we are going to call MIS, which it stands for Miscellaneous, School Files. Once we have done that, we have all of our folders that we need for the school year. Well, we have all of the subjects. What we're going to do now is we're going to go into each one of these folders and we're going to make what we call a Cenotes folder. And Cenotes stands for Cornell Notes, which is a form of note-taking we use at iUniversity Prep. And so I'm going to go down to the U.S. History, which is the first one I created. I'm going to double-click on it. And now I'm going to go back up to the orange New button. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to click the folder icon again. And I'm going to create a file or a folder called Cenotes for Social Studies, or more specifically in this one for U.S. History. And then create. Now I have a folder within my U.S. History folder that is going to be used for Cenotes. Now, up here at the top, I have a navigation bar for my folders. So I can go back and click on the 2015-16 to get to all of my other classes. So I'm going to go into each class and make that Cenotes folder. So now I'm going to go into Math, New, Folder, and Cenotes for Math. I will do this for each one of my classes, but I do not need to do one for the MIS School Files folder. Once I add a Cenotes folder for each class, I am almost done with this portion of our Google Drive setup. The only thing I am left with that I need to do is I need to share my 2015-2016 folder with my teachers and the school administrators. So I'm going to go up here where it says 2015-2016. I'm going to click the arrow and I'm going to drop down to Share. It's going to default that it's sharing with anyone at Grapevine Colleyville ISD who has the link. I want to change that. And to change it, I'm going to click over here where it says Can View and has the arrow. I'm going to click that and I'm going to select Off. Only specific people can access. Because I only want to give my teachers and school administrators access to my folder. Well, what I need to be able to share it is I need my teacher's email address. So I'm going to go open up another tab on the internet, and I'm going to go to the school website, which is www.iuniversityprep.org. And then once I am on the school website, I'm going to go to Contact Us. I'm going to drop down to Staff. Now I have an option for administration or teachers. We're going to start out with teachers. I'm going to click on the teachers, and then I see a web page with that information of every teacher in the school. I'm going to go in and find the teachers that I have. When I find one of the teachers, like let's pretend I have Mrs. Alsobrook, I'm going to highlight her email address. I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to select Copy. Then I'm going to go back over to my Google Drive tab, and I'm going to paste her email address down in the People box. And I'm going to do this for each teacher that I am going to have at the school. And I'm going to paste each one of their email addresses. And then once I do the teachers, I'm going to go over to administration. And I want to put everyone with school administration in there as well. So I'm going to put Dr. Rogers, Mrs. Heath, and Mrs. Aldrich. And once I get all of those people added in, I'm going to click the Send button. And that will share it with all of those people. And once I have clicked that blue Send button, I have done the first portion of setting up my Google Drive and Google Sites here at iUniversity Prep.